Yes.
So what can we expect from Kiana and Gab for the release?
I think it's going to be extra emotional.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is one of the things where we've been, we grew up watching my dad, we grew up performing with my dad, and for the idea of it being the last, especially this one more time, I feel like it's gonna be very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, memorable.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's bittersweet. It's gonna be very bittersweet, but we're gonna give it our all,
Always.
as always.
For me, I think it's gonna be more energetic. I
Yeah.
feel like because we also got close to everyone else involved in the show, the entourage, the 18, the crew, everyone on production. We spent so much time together in April when we were filming the first one. So now it's a bit of a reunion and also a goodbye and a celebration of the holidays and the year that's passed. So I think all that energy is gonna come forward.
Saka, alam niyo na very historic and memorable yung venue for your dad.
Yes.
Diba? Because of the
Yeah.
1984 very first
Yes.
one.
It'll feel like when coming home for him for
Yeah.
sure.
And a lot of the content that's gonna be shown, a lot of that was in earnest.
Yes.
And so when to be able to see that, to be able to live through that, and now be able to kind of finish off there, it's gonna be very special.
What are your thoughts para sa decision ng dad niyo na last na to in a big venue solo concert? Did you agree? Or
Initially, no. Initially, syempre, I mean, at the end of the day, he still has a lot left in him. But I also feel like he deserves this rest. He deserves this time to reconfigure what he wants to do
Yeah.
and how to move forward. I feel like he's moving into a different realm now where it's mostly going to be about paving the way for other young artists and being able to kind of like have his own touch in them. And so I think it's exciting, but also medyo syempre, it's nakakasad din kasi I can't ever imagine a world without Gary in that sense. But like I said, he does deserve it.
Yeah.
He is 60 years old. Alam ko hindi halata, but he is 60 years old and he does want to do other things and he deserves to do that.
yeah.
I agree with everything you said. I think that there are so many avenues for our dad to still express his creativity. This big concert, medium, is not the only way for him to really show all his sides. In fact, there are so many sides to him that you guys haven't experienced yet. But we've been very lucky, to grow up with that side of him, and I think it's just the beginning of a new chapter for him. Syempre, again, also it's sad, but I also don't think that it's the last.
Yeah.
Maybe baka in denial lang ako, pero kasi yung last time na yun eh. Ito may one more time. So,
Hindi ka naniniwala. You
hindi
don't
ako
agree.
naninig. Baka in denial lang talaga ako. Pero I think nga, it's a good opening, new chapter for him to then express himself in different ways.
And for those people that have seen it and the people that haven't seen it, when you watch the show, you really ask yourself, is it really his last? Because he's not going out, limping. He's not
Yeah.
tired.
He has so much to give.
He's out there for three and a half hours, giving it his all. Minimum exits. The only exits he has is usually like the costume changes, outfit changes, and then when he comes out, he's literally powerful, right? So you ask yourself, is it really the last? But at this point, I think we're just here to support as much as we can. As his kids, we want to be there for him. We've been there. I mean, I'm 36 years old, and ever since I was born, I grew up with that, and to be able to support that in whatever way I can, I'm gonna do it, and I'm just happy to do it.
Right. Oh, you mentioned the quick commercial break now. Since you mentioned new artists, I just want to get your reaction. You guys have been based in LA for quite a while.
Yeah.
You've been doing projects there. Our very own Sofronio Vasquez just won The Voice today, the very
Oh my
first
gosh, I didn't
Filipino
even know.
Wow,
and the
I didn't
very
even know that.
first Asian to win.
Wow.
Reaksyon lang
Wow.
as a Filipino artist, who's been doing a lot of projects in Hollywood.
Wow, the voice.
My reaction is finally, it's only about time. Because
Yeah.
even Ariana Grande just said Filipinos are the best singers. So this is just It's just the proof and the
Yeah.
pudding.
No, you know what? I think it's really exciting that I think overall and globally the Philippines is starting to make its mark, and I think it's about time. Like Kiana said, it's
Yeah.
about time. I'm such a believer in Filipino talent, but I'm also much more of a believer in the Filipino heart, where you just keep doing what you have to do. Might be hard. Life might not be that easy, but at the end of the day, it's there, and I really believe in that. So congratulations.
Yeah,
That is
congratulations.
incredible. I didn't even know
So
that.
cool.
Alright, I know. When will be your next Beyonce collab?
I don't know.
Wait, let's call it.
Let's email her.
Hey, cool.
Wala pa.
Wala pa. So, silently hustling in LA, doing my thing. And hopefully one day I'll be able to share everything with all of you guys.
Kiana, how about you? Collabs in
Ooh.
Hollywood?
Right now I'm trying to figure out my first album that I've released in maybe it's been 5 years.
5 years.
So we finished it. I've been in the room with the most talented Filipinos who live there, and also just the most amazing collaborators. So I'm really excited about putting that out. I can't really spill a lot of details, but soon enough, over the next few months, they'll be pouring out.
Guys?
Kiana and Gab, your dad is an actor.
Yes.
Pero bilang mga anak, ano yung legacy na iwan niya sa dalawa?
Oh my gosh, there's so much.
There's so much. To be honest, and I've said this so many times, to the entire world, the population, the Philippines and the Filipinos all around the world, a lot of people know him as Teacher Pure Energy, Gary V. I think the legacy that he's left with us is the fact that to us he was always just that. Papa lang siya. He never brought his work home, and if he did, it was more of a collaborative.
Yeah.
It was more of it was more of like a sharing type of concept. It wasn't like I'm your dad, I'm Gary V. And that's the legacy, the legacy of being a father and being a friend to us. I know that he's done a lot. He's achieved so much. He has awards that are in actually containers that we can't even put it in a room or anything. But yes, I am proud of that. But I'm more proud that he raised us the best way he could, alongside my mom. And that's the legacy that he left with me. Growing up, and when I meet new people, and when I'm able to somewhat, people ask me, Gab, how was it growing up? I thought honestly, it wasn't the perfect childhood, but it was, for me, incredible.
Pretty good.
It was great because, again, when he came home, he was just Papa.
Kiana.
For me, it's the same. I think that there have been times where, because of his work, my parents were absent and all of that, but I've never felt like I couldn't call him. And I know that just recently, I was going through some challenges, and I called him, and he just happened to be in the middle of a meeting. And he made everyone, I'm so embarrassed, but he made everyone in his meeting wait just so he could sit there and talk to me for 15 minutes. And I think that's so rare, because that actually forced me to reflect on, would I do that? Imagine you're in an important meeting, you get a phone call from either your kid or your mom or your brother or whoever. Would you say, sorry, priority is family, right? So I think that's the legacy. It's now that, with my new chapter in life, getting married and eventually someday maybe having children, that's something that I'm gonna keep in mind and hopefully pass down as well.
And on a side note, my dad is a boy. Like we'll be together, like hanging out, and then you'll just see at Gab Valenciano sent you a reel. At Gab
I
Valenciano sent you
know,
a reel.
every day there's like random reels.
I think in one day he'll send me
Oh,
like 8 reels. It's all jokes, it's all funny stuff.
And then it's like the way that we spend time together, which is now how in California I bond with my friends. It's just movie nights.
Yeah.
Or if you have a day to spare, then you binge a show or something. But that's like, it's quality time that we appreciate. Experiencing different forms of art together and all of that. So that's really something that I think he's been able to pass down to us, and we'll
And Kiana, will
continue.
you be seeing your son
Will
your
I?
show?
Perhaps. Yes, I will be. I'll be opening the show on December 20. actually. And so I'll be able to share some of my original music as well as Sana, which pays tribute to both my parents.
Aside from being you've mentioned that the world has yet to see signs of Gary Vee.
Yeah.
Aside from being the pure energy. So can you share what are those signs?
Well, he's super quirky.
Yeah, so people think that he's like this serious, inspirational icon, which is all
He's not
true.
And I think we always talk about this in a lot
Yeah.
of our interviews when they ask like, oh, what don't we know about Mr. Pure Energy? He's a comedian at all.
Yeah.
Like he's just so weird.
Yeah.
It's so weird, and it's.
So
I mean, you talk.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys remember the videos that I used to make back in the day. That
The
was
super
heavily
selfies.
inspired by him. Okay, I'll make kwento this one. My dad, I'm sorry.